Good morning. How is everyone? This is Dr. Woodson. Listen, I left my last video. I was highly passionate about the issue of Bernie Sanders and his message to all black people, all white people, all people of all walks of life. One thing I want to tell you today is that Bernie Sanders has spoken. His message is resonating across all spectrums. That's why you see the Democratic Party attacking him yesterday in the debates. Everyone came at him. And you know what? The ironic thing was, he didn't let it bother him. He kept pushing on. South Carolina is just one place. And you know what? You're never going to get everybody on the same wavelength. But I'm going to tell you, Bernie's got most of everybody. He's beat 4 wards so far, and Saturday is going to be the 5th, South Carolina. And if Biden don't come in, and this ain't really about a competition thing, this is about what people are feeling about his message. So let's get out of the concept of, this is like a basketball tournament, the final Sweet 16 or whatever, because that's not what it's about. The media wants you to think that. And I'm hearing all these pundits, coming from all different directions on satellite radio, Karen Hunter show, uh, uh, all the shows on Urban View. And these people, for some reason, are missing the message in a couple areas. Number one, they keep using the word, and I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. They keep using the word free education, free healthcare. Now, pay attention to the linguistics of the word free. And then I want you to associate it with you paying taxes. The other piece, and we'll come back to that, the other piece is who's going to pay for it. Remember, you're going to be hearing this term. How is it going to get paid for? Now, I want you to remember that term, and then I want you to associate it with you've already been paying for it. You just haven't been getting it. I'm going to come back to that later. The last thing is when you hear them talk about democratic socialism. I want you to go on Bernie's website, and I want you to pull up his website. And this is a time where I usually curse because I really want you people to stop being lazy. I heard on the radio station that some of these talking heads and commentators are saying, oh, well, no one ever questioned Bernie about how he's going to pay for it. All they have to do is go on his website. He said it on the Fox Channel News town hall he had. He has it written up. He was doing it before Warren was doing it. Warren joined them because she believes in his message. She just added to it. She's not his enemy and he's not hers. So don't let people try to make you think that they're divided on their perspective. They'll pinpoint little things within that to try to make you think, because that's what they think we are. We think we're idiots. We can be just manipulated by different pitting people against each other when they're actually saying the same thing. Warren and Sanders are saying the same thing. And most of those guys are saying the same thing. They just want to see us fight because the Democratic National Committee is looking for a moderate. That has played out now. The right wing and the left wing political system are of the same bird. And people are saying they're tired of it. They want progressive social democracy. They want a progressive social capitalism, is what I mean. And that's where the people are speaking to. Everyone for decades said they hate a two-party system. Well, now you're having it. And you see that people are now participating in it. And Bernie created it. Now they want to attack him. So let's get that very clear. So now, let's move forward. Let's deal with the first issue of when they say free. You know what? Black folk, white folk, poor folk, working class folk, When you come here and you work, or you've lived here and born here and you work, you pay. Now, in some of our neighborhoods, those taxes go to specific things. Particularly if you're wealthy, you can actually see what your taxes are doing. Well, some of our neighborhoods, when we pay taxes, we don't see anything. We see our schools shutting down. We see the trash companies not picking up our trash regularly or sweeping the streets or picking up the leaves. We don't see much of it. We see the falling down of infrastructure, bridges, train, railways, just falling down. But we do see that our tax money goes into trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars into the Pentagon and military industrial complex and the prison and complex, and privatizing schools and privatizing all other things that make us have to pay for certain things that we had already been paying taxes for, like public schools. Now they're privatized. So now that you know that you've been paying for it, why not have that money shifted from the military industrial complex, from the prison industrial complex, and from out of privatization of public schools and the Wall Street banks into healthcare? That's not free. We pay for it. We're just shifting it. I'm keeping it simple. Tuition for college. We pay taxes so that our monies can go into a state coffer and then a federal coffer so that people can borrow loans on their own tax money. And then we pay interest on that. Bernie's saying, let's stop that. Let's stop paying into that and use that money to give us college. So when you say, who's going to pay for it? Nigga, you already been paying for it. It's like having a slave mentality. You get your paycheck and then you go run to the store and pay what you owe because you borrowed to your next pay. You know, you're stepping over dollars to get the pennies by asking and letting the media lead you into this stupid quagmire of questioning. Like, how is it going to pay? But the media's telling you that. If you stop and think for a minute, you're already paying in and coming out and going in. You're paying taxes out their ass. Just listen to yourself sometimes. You're paying for it. It's just not going to where you want it. The big fat cats are taking your tax dollars and doing what the hell they want to do with it. You understand? So now let's move on. They talk about, well, it talked about free and how you're going to pay for it. I just covered those two. Now, when they talk about socialism, social democracy, a social democracy is when everybody pays their fair share and everybody has a benefits from that tax payment. And they see what they're getting. You know that if I'm paying taxes, I get health care. Not when I'm just 65, but along the way. Right now, under the only social umbrella we have is Social Security coming out of our check. But guess what? They tell us we can't get it till 5. And that's what they do with the money as we pay into it. They use it for other things. They divert it from other things, just like they just diverted money from the military to pay for the wall. They do what they want with our tax money. And you're going to sit back and say, how are they going to pay for it? Nigga, I'm already giving you money. But you're not giving me nothing. Taxation without representation is robbery. When are you guys going to understand this? How much do I have to pound it into your heads? You already got the foot on your neck. And you're asking, how are we going to pay for it? And they got their foot on your neck going in your pocket. And telling you, it's going into the military. You better listen to Bernie. And you better understand why everybody tried to attack him last night. There's a reason for that, because he's putting a crack in the system. He's putting a serious crack in the system. And these moderates, they who want to go down the middle to try to keep everybody calm from joining the Bernie revolution and changing the system, this is why they keep saying we want Biden, because he's a moderate. And you know what moderates do? They try to appease both sides. In this climate that we have now politically, we cannot afford to please both sides because we see what the other side is doing. They're tearing up the Constitution. They're walking all over the laws. They're breaking laws, everything. So that requires that you be tough and fight and not waver like Bernie. All these other people want to buy their way into the system, like Bloomberg. He figured he can buy his way. Little spoiled brat, can't even argue or debate on the stage, act like a spoiled brat. Think he can buy his way and everything, and then apologize and said, "He's done. Nobody wants that." And Biden, yeah, he was a Obama, supporter, but he's done. He's done. That system of moderate politics is not getting it anymore because we're in a desperate situation. It doesn't call for moderation. It calls for an attack and change, social change on the system. And the rest of them, Warren, she's speaking the same language, but I don't know why she's even involving herself in the attack mode, because that's not going to make her, it's going to embolden more of Bernie's people. So what we need to do is understand clearly what we're hearing. I want you to think with a third mind and see things with a third eye and listen with a third ear. All right? And be very conscious and read. Don't wait for them don't go on what people are telling you. Go on Bernie's website and read what is in there. There are details in there about the plan and about the flat tax. Now, I know one thing. I'd rather pay a flat tax and get their foot off my neck and be robbing me at 38%, and I ain't getting nothing for it. I'd rather have them put their foot on my neck for something and then I get something. Now, which one would you rather stand for? If you're going to be some of them, people talking this, that, and the other. But guess what? The results are showing that Bernie's in the lead. And guess what? He's hit about 6 or 7 states. And he's going to run it. And you know what? It's going to be all out civil war out here. So I understand, young people, y'all got it. Y'all got the message. They can talk all that old propaganda, socialism, communism stuff. It's going in one ear and out the other. Because we know the real definition. That's a distraction. Let it be. Don't let it be distracting you from what Bernie's saying over and over and over again. Because what Bernie's saying is consistent. So this is my point. And I didn't curse this time because I'm thinking I'm reaching an audience. I want you to really get involved. I want you to read his website. It only takes a few minutes of your time because your life depends on it and my life depends on it. And if you feeling confused, there's nothing to be confused about. If you read and educate yourself, ain't nothing to be confused about. When you're not reading, you're getting all this stuff from all different directions, and it confuses you. Find the focus. Find out what your needs are and who's speaking that power of the truth. And remember, in order to eat all of that, to eat the big elephant, you got to kill it first. Then you got to carve it into pieces. And you eat it at one piece at a time. We're not going to get everything we want all at once. You'll hear people say, oh, well, what about this and what about that and what about it all? The thing is that we're stronger when we stand together. And then we can eat. Everybody can eat. Everybody can raise their issue. But first we got to cut that head off that elephant. Okay? You can't just try to swallow the whole elephant because you'll get confused and you'll just give up. And then you'll starve yourself. And that's what I don't want you to do. We're stronger together. Okay? God bless you. Like the button below and share with your friends. And I look forward to hearing your comments. And wake up.